Hello and welcome everyone to EO Member Stories. My name is Faizan Sayed. I am the Member Experience Director, and today I have a member from Kenya who's going to talk about his EO journey. James Savage. How are you, James?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Hi,
And
can you hear
James, I
me?
want to start by saying you
Sorry.
are I can hear you. I think there was a little lag in the broadcast. James, you are, I think, the first member we're getting on Member Stories who's less than 2 years of EO experience. You just joined in the middle of COVID. You were mentioning.
Pretty much, yeah. At the end of 2020 was when I joined, and it's been an amazing transform journey. I think I joined actually at a good time because I had that period during COVID where well, my business in tourism was low, and so I had time to rethink, and I don't want to say reinvent myself or reinvent what I did, but it just gave me the opportunity to look at things with a different perspective. And joining EO, it just everything's sort of synchronized.
And you're, James, tell me a little bit more about your business. You're in the travel and tourism business. You run a safari company. You're passionate about the outdoors, and you're the guy to call if someone wants to take a trek up to Kilimanjaro. Is that right?
That's it, yes. So I'm MD for Savage Wilderness Safaris, which is a family-run business. Or my dad's involved a little bit, but he's 70 now, so he doesn't really do too much. But yeah, so it's an adventure tourism company. We're specializing in mountaineering, Mount Kenya, Kilimanjaro, whitewater rafting in Kenya, mountain bike safaris around the Masai Mara. A new venture we've gone into is sort of heli biking, get helicopter up onto Mount Kenya or into very remote areas and just experience cycling in those areas. So yeah, it's anything adventurous. It's my passion, and it's what we do.
And so, how did you end up in this family business? A lot of people start away from family businesses. They want to go and explore and try something of their own. What kept you in the family business?
I just love the outdoors. So from a very young kid, my dad was always he started rafting actually when I was about 9 years old, but previously he was running mountain
Wow.
trips, Mount Kenya and Kilimanjaro. I got to experience Mount Kenya for the first time when I was 5 years old. I went up there with him, um, and I think from then onwards, every weekend we were off camping or we were exploring or off on safari somewhere, or after the age of 10, whitewater rafting. And I just got a passion for it, and I'd never wanted to do anything else but join the family business. I just love it so much, and so it never crossed my mind that I wanted to do anything else. And I asked myself at the beginning of COVID, oh, maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have done that. But no, now I'm back in the driving seat and loving it, and yeah, it's all good. Can't think of
And
doing
so, in a
anything
family
else.
business, it's always a challenge to work with parents or family members. You know, it's always a challenge to
Yeah.
work in a family business with family members. How's that experience been for you?
I would say so. I did outdoor and environmental education at university in Liverpool, and I got back to Kenya at the beginning of 2002, and I'd already been involved with the family business from a young age. Like I started guiding on Mount Kenya, Kilimanjaro when I was sort of 19 years old, rafting on the Tana River as a guide from the age of 16. So I always knew how things worked, and I grew with the company. So as the company grew, I grew as well. So I had a lot of input and a lot of ideas, and yeah, there were some very difficult times. Clashing with my father, who's fully in charge, especially the first sort of 10 years up until about
Mm.
2012. Um,
That's a long period.
it, it was a long period, but I think it wasn't often with clash. And I think one of the great things when you work in the outdoors or when you go out into the outdoors with someone, then you talk and you experience the highs and the lows. Say taking someone up the mountain, you experience the highs and the lows, or when you go on a rafting expedition. You're up early, you're working with that one, and in this case would have been my father. So we worked on expeditions with each other, and that releases tension, and it's in a way, without sounding too cheesy, it's its own sort of team building, such. So you could have a dispute, and then you'd be sat around a fire, and you discuss it that evening, and you just had that time to just have the discussion. So yeah, that I reckon helped us a lot. And then I figured out how to work with my father, and as the company grew, the financial pressures became a lot easier. And when those financial pressures become easier, then there's not so much pressure on the both of you, and you can sort of like sit back and relax and go, we're doing something right here, and it's working.
And actually enjoy the thing that you're passionate about, which is the outdoors and your
Absolutely.
business, right? And you joined
Absolutely.
you joined right smack in the middle of the world transitioning from a pre to post COVID. And I think that period gave a lot of us entrepreneurs the chance to really think about what is it we're doing, why, the time we spend with our families, with our business, with ourselves. And you were mentioning that EO really transformed the way you thought about things. Do you want to walk me through what those things were?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I remember the phone call from the membership chair, Nimit Dodia. It was probably in September of 2020, and he was telling me about COVID. Now, sorry, not COVID, about you. I remember.
Right.
Um,
Everyone was telling everyone about COVID in September of
they were
2020.
at that time for sure. No, but also I'd heard about EO previously, about 2 years previously, from a very good friend of mine. Actually, he's very well known in the EO circles, Jamie Pajara.
Mhm.
So I was actually at school with Jamie, and he had told me about EO probably, yeah, but about 2 years prior to COVID, and I'd been like, oh yeah, I qualify. This could be something, but it never went any further than that. And I mean, life went on, and I was busier, so I forgot about it. And then I got the phone call from Nimitz, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah, okay. And I had time on my hands at that point to explore it and look at it, and I was looking for something to a net, not a network, yeah, a network, but more of a sort of a what's the word I'm looking for? I was looking for a community that I could rely on and help, and that they could help me. And EO just seemed the perfect fit, and I
Mhm.
was onboarded. I remember going to my first sort of the first learning event, and I think it was the first in-person learning event that we had with social distancing and other requirements in place, or EO had since March, and that was at the end of December, just before Christmas. And I remember going to that and coming out of it. And it was a talk by Scott Galloway, and I remember thinking, wow, that was very insightful and really really good. And I did some research and learned, and then I went into my first forum meeting in January, and an experience share I'd had from another EO member is just like, get to your 5%. So if you can get to your 1%, then your forum journey is going to be amazing. So I went into that and I hit 1%, and automatically, like that, like the trust built within our forum, as myself as a new member, I never felt so welcomed. I never felt so part of something. And I think, COVID was a scary time, and I think I just needed that as well as a reassurance. And having time on my hands as well, it just attending learning events or everything online, listening to other people's experiences and forums, bringing up my ideas, and getting experience shares and doing deep dives. It really just changed the way that I looked at myself. I looked at my family, and I looked at my business. Um, my my relationship with my family and my kids has never been stronger, and I like to think that it's definitely made me a better father, a better husband, and also a better boss, and it's
One
giving
th-
me new energy.
and one thing that you've taken from that and applied, is there an example of that one thing that really sort of shifted the needle for you? One practice, one habit,
Yeah.
because
So
different forums, you get to pick up different things.
Yeah, I think mine at the minute that I really see happening is I also became an accelerator coach and doing the accelerator
Hmm.
program and speaking to a lot of the accelerators. I also uh, decided that I really needed to transform my business into more of a lot more structure for us to grow and develop and get better and keep pioneering in the adventure sports and keep setting the standards here in East Africa. That if I kept going the way I was going, one, I would take more time, personal time into business, and my excuse was, I need to do this, and it's for work, and it's for work, and I would have neglected my young family and my wife, and so I really feel that that's one of the biggest things. To say it, I don't want to say it saved my marriage because my marriage has been amazing and my family life's been amazing, but if that hadn't opened my eyes, that I need to almost work on your family like you work on your business because it's constantly changing and all that, then I feel that I'd have probably made some classic mistakes that a lot of people in my forum have openly said that they've made, and let's not, you guys don't make these mistakes going forward. So that side of things, it's been great, but also it has made me structure my company a lot better. I've taken on a personal business coach, and the transformation from what I've seen, and it's freed up my time, so I can actually do some deep thinking and I can do some deep work, and I can actually do some of the activities that keep me alive, and have the passion for what I do.
Amazing. And so you mentioned the EO accelerator path. I mean, that's you've taken within the first 2 years, you've taken on the path of leadership as they talk about in EO. How has that sort of
Yeah.
made you change the way you think about your own business?
Uh, I actually wish that I'd known about EO or the accelerator program. Well, I knew about EO, but I'd known about the accelerator program and the benefits so much earlier, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because I'd be in a very very different place now. But the path of leadership, I'm also a forum chair in Kenya now, and the reason I've
Hmm.
taken on that is again coming from a family business and not really coming from a massive sort of corporate, not coming from a corporate background at all. I wanted to see how a board was run, and so just sitting on the EO board, um, and see how a board is run, it gives me new ideas. Again, it's I almost treat it as another forum, experience shares, and then I can bring those practices back into the company and into my personal life, and put them into place because again, it's all tried and tested, and you're learning from people's experience shares. So that's been great, and I am looking forward to like stepping into a role. I don't like conflict, and being in forum chair, you've got to be quite stern at times and try and motivate and push people and deal with certain conflicts at times if there's conflict within forums. So from that side of things, it's helped me grow as a person, and it's just made me a better, I think, made me a better leader and a better human being.
Interesting. And so, where do you see your EO journey take you? Do you think the path of leadership is going to take you into the region, go put you on the global level? Because you mentioned you come from a family business and not from sort of the corporate environment. So, how do you see yourself in the next 5 years with EO?
Definitely staying on the board for another couple of years. I would like to experience some of the sort of regional and possibly global roles. Yeah, it's something that I'm considering. It also depends on what's happening within the company. I've also and my personal life. I've also got to make sure that I'm not biting off more than I can chew at any one time. But it, as I said, the year has given me a sense of community, and yeah, I feel really, really passionate about it, and I do want to absorb and take in everything that I possibly can from EO, and then also give back. because I can see how much EO has given me and will continue to give me, and I want to make sure that I can pass that on to future members and new members joining.
Amazing. That's amazing, James. I mean, I think that you're an example of a member who's on the right track with EO, because one of the most valuable things you can do in your EO journey is join the path of leadership, which you have, and on two fronts: forum chair, and you've taken on the accelerator responsibility for your chapter as well. And I think, taking on those responsibilities gives you that flavor and the experience that a lot of us as entrepreneurs starting up businesses or running family businesses miss out, that happen in the big corporate businesses out there, and we get to learn from these experiences and apply them to our business. Thank you so much for the time, James. I wish you all the
No
best on this
worries.
EO journey of yours. And the next time any
Thank
one
you.
of us, anyone watching, is out in Kenya and is looking for safari, we found the guy to call to help us hike to the top of Kilimanjaro.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and yeah, hope we meet in person sometime soon.
Absolutely, we will. Thank you so much, James. Bye bye.
Excellent. Bye. Have a great day.